Om Shanti, everyone. Welcome to the next normal. I'm your host, Sister Jenna. We're streaming live from the Brahma Kumaris Meditation Museums and the Brahma Kumaris agenda, focus, empathy, intention. Let's refresh and renew our spirits. Let's get to know who we are, to know yourself and to renew your spirit. The more I come to understand how I'm functioning as a soul, my spirit, the soul, stays alert, alive, refreshed, open for new things and new ideas. And in order for us to really refresh the spirit, understanding the philosophy of karma is such a big essential tool. We spoke about karma the other day, and we're going into a deeper aspect based on some of your responses and requests. Today I wanted to focus on what is pure karma. It is so rare nowadays to meet somebody who is selfless. On your both hands, could you count for me how many people in your vortex, in your circle, in your life, can you identify as people who perform pure karma? Babies are not included. Just how many people do things without expectations? How many people recognize that pure karma is a charitable act, which somewhere down the road, further down the road, it gives you the return of that good karma? How many of you are doing actions without expecting something at the time that you're doing it? Pure karma is, I'm going to look at a practical way of explaining this to you today. Maybe I see a need, or maybe everything looks fine, but I know that not everything stays fine. Let's say that I see a relative or a friend, they're not so happy. Let's say that I know my next door neighbor needs a ride to the hospital. Let's say I took the day off and I decided to take them to the hospital, spend the day with them. Let's just say after a year they're healthy and vibrant, and all of a sudden they're complaining about my tree hanging over their yard and messing up their yard, and they're actually quite rude and nasty to me. And then I go, oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I can see it's looking quite messy. How about if I try to clean it up if it gets messy, but I don't want to cut the tree? The neighbor says, well, I'm going to call people on you because you're not supposed to. And then you start to think, after all I did for this person, look at the way they're treating me. Based on your response, when you're not getting what you want, it will give you insights if the actions that you're performing were purely intentional or if they had a mixed motive. What is a mixed motive? I want to do good. I am doing good. But somewhere in my subconscious, I'm saying, but I want your respect. I want your love. Or I'm coming to do this favor for you because you have a lot of money, so could you maybe give me money when I need it? Or I think this person can give me an opportunity. That's karma mixed with a motive where there's algae, anger, lust, greed, attachment, or ego connected to it. But I do want to do good. I want to do good. But somehow, unknown to me, I have a desire for something else. I have a desire for something. Look at the world today. People are so focused on gimme, 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 gimme. I'll give you a little bit. Gimme, 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 gimme. Let me give you just a tiny bit. Now, if you try to do the math and you observe a society of individuals who gimme, 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 I'll give you a little. Gimme, why didn't you? You're supposed to give me more. Then you'll have a society of individuals who are becoming flat and empty. There's a known saying, Takers get tired, givers get stronger. Give with your good wishes, your pure feelings, pure karma. Every day when you wake up, send your blessings and your good vibrations to your family members, then to your colleagues at work, then to your citizens in your city, your state, your country, your world. Nobody knows that you're doing it. So even sometimes, let's say you do this practice for 5 years, somehow you meet somebody along the way. They're not very nice to you. But because you've accumulated the vibration and the experience of good wishes and pure feelings, which is pure karma, it doesn't affect you. You've been having good wishes and pure feelings purely, without telling anyone that you're giving them your blessings. That's pure karma. The universe owes you. Let's say you give a donation without asking for anything in return. Here at the Meditation Museum, we have to give receipts for the donations so individuals can do their taxes. So then their names, their information is required. There's some souls who just give a donation and they don't want anything in return. They're just giving it from the heart. Pure karma. And I'm not saying those who need a receipt, it's impure karma. But what I'm saying is you let your right hand do the act and your left hand has no idea what is going on. That purely, that bestowing. There are souls that I know, they will come to the Meditation Museum or to any of our centers around the world. They'll see something, they'll fix something, they'll make something happen and just leave. They're not asking for a blessing, they're not looking for this, they're not looking for that. It's just selfless. There's something inside of their spirit that has this benevolence, this goodness, this purity, and that gets inside of your personality because of your practice of good wishes and pure feelings. The person has definitely a personal, intimate connection to God, and that relationship between the soul and God is filling the needs of that being. They don't need much from human beings anymore. They move along with an attitude, I need to evolve my life. There are 33 million deities in Hindu culture, and each one of those characters or personalities gave something of themselves beyond their limits. Think about that one more time. To give something of yourself beyond your limit. When you think you can't do anymore, but you do anyway. Or you don't think you have the qualifications to do something, but you go inside of the soul where your love lives, your peace lives, your purity lives, your wisdom lives, and you try it. And before you know it, you've developed a new skill. What I love about the Brahma Kumaris culture, it will teach you things you don't know. Do the things you think you cannot do. And when you start to do things you cannot do, you develop more inside. The world needs human beings to perform more pure karma, to help one another, to help yourself, to be this kind of a living deity, this charitable being that just wants to make everything better around them. So in essence, to understand a life of pure karma, give without expectations. Give without the motive of what's in it for me. Bestow from the consciousness of the soul. I, the soul, am in remembrance of the Divine, the Supreme. I can see one of my brothers need help. You go as an instrument, you help, and then you move on. You'll know when you're not performing pure karma. Look at your family members at home. There's so many karmic connections, karmic bondages, karmic assignments, karmic contracts between you and those people. Whether it's your children, your spouse, your in-law, your friends. There's always an expectation from the person. If there isn't an expectation, then there's a taking them for granted. That is also impure karma. But what if every day when you wake up and you look at your family members with good wishes and pure feelings without telling them? You stay connected to God throughout the day. You do what's needed. You do as much as you can, but without any ways thought that they should do that. I get it, yes, they should. But where I'm concerned, how much am I doing that is really mine to do? My fortune, my benevolence. I'll tell you a story that I remember on occasions. There's a brother who came who needed some help. He was getting his life back together. He went through a challenging time in his marriage. He had come to Washington D.C. and he needed an automobile. I think at the time we had maybe 2 cars were donated, or 3, I think, right? I think Sister Gita might have crashed one, then we had 2 that were donated, and there's 1 that I used. So I said, it's okay, we have this extra car, why don't you just use it? It'd be good for you, then you can save some money. I think it was 2 months later, I think it was at that time Sister Gita must have crashed the car or something, right, Santosh? Something like that. And I said, oh, Santosh, we have to rent a car. We don't have a car. Now, Santosh looked at me like I had lost it. And he says, but sister, you loaned so-and-so the car. What car? Oh my God, I completely forgot. Pure karma. I didn't even remember. I loaned that brother our car. I'm out of a car. The center doesn't have a car. I don't even remember the charity. It was such a powerful moment for me. I'll tell you another story of pure karma. When we were living in McLean, Virginia, there was a house next door. And there was one man, his wife had passed away. He was an admiral in the Navy. And he lived by himself. So there were times the electricity would go up, but we had a generator. So we would run the wire next door, so he would at least have some current or some heat. Another thing, we would just cook food and send over to him. That's it. 2 or 3 years later, he passes away, and the house is vacant. And would you believe his daughter, who I had come to know, there was another young man that came to the museum who was homeless. I didn't really know him very well, but Sister Gita says, let's try to help him. And so we're at the museum, and I realized that he's homeless, and I thought, the house next door is free. Now, McLean, Virginia is one of the most expensive neighborhoods to live in. And I just happened to call the daughter, Ludi, and I said, Ludi, I met this young man. He seems promising. I don't know him very well, but he's homeless. I think it's possible. Maybe we can have him stay at the house next door and he can do the lawn for you for a while till he gets on his own 2 feet. She says, well, sure, Sister Jenna, until we can rent the house or sell it, as long as he doesn't damage it. Sure enough, that young man lived there till he got a job, his own apartment, his own car. He became stable. That's it. I've had so many sisters who've come in who are looking to get their lives together. I said, well, I think I can ask Ludi if you could stay at that house and maybe just give a donation to Baba. They didn't have to pay the amount of rent that rent is needed. I tell you these stories because they fulfill you. The more you help souls without expectations or desires from them, it'll be okay. You're ensuring your karmas for the future. So I tell you these stories to give you a little bit of an idea. Every day we wake up, we offer services, we offer teachings that come from God. We're instruments for God, it's not us. But okay, we move on to a next one, and the next day, the next assignment, leaving behind a trail of sparkle dust, good deeds, so that souls can learn the importance of benevolent actions without expectations will set you free. Let's take a moment and go into a meditation now on this very important topic for us to understand ourselves a little more.
Our world and my relationship to it. Sometimes, when I think of our world, it seems a little large, impersonal. Five and a half billion souls inhabit our world. And yet each one of those souls is an individual. Each has their own life, as I do. Each has a heart, as I do. And each has a place, as I do, in our world. Perhaps it's a little too easy to think in generalizations, to see the world as a nameless, faceless crowd of people. And then it becomes just a little too easy to be harsh or judgmental, intolerant. But when I think of our world as a planet full of beautiful, creative individuals, it's so much easier to have an attitude of good wishes, pure feelings for those with whom I share this planet. When I think of my own personal relationships, the circle is quite small. But when I consider that each individual has a circle of relationships, it's easy to imagine how they all interconnect. One large family of individuals. This is my relationship to our world. And in the form of a beautiful light, I send my good wishes to each individual.
Did you enjoy that meditation just now? To just keep offering your good wishes and pure feelings. Sometimes it's easy for people that you're detached from, but the ones that you live with, that's who you practice that pure karma with. Let's take a look if chat has qualified any of the things that Sister Jenna shared today. What did chat say about what pure karma is? Pure karma refers to actions performed with pure intentions, free from selfish desires, ego, or negative emotions. It's often associated with selfless service, compassion, love, and a sense of duty without attachment to the outcomes. Selflessness. Pure karma is characterized by selfless actions aimed at benefiting others without expecting anything in return. The focus is on the well-being of others rather than personal gain. Purity of intention. The intention behind actions in pure karma is pure and noble. It arises from a place of love, compassion, and genuine desire to help others. Detachment from outcomes. Actions performed with pure karma are not attached to the results. The doer is content with performing the duty itself, regardless of the outcome. This aligns with the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna advises performing one's duty without attachment to the fruits of the action. Inner purity. It reflects on inner purity, inner state of purity and spiritual alignment. It is often the result of a disciplined mind and heart that has been cultivated through spiritual practices like meditation, prayer, and ethical living. Harmonious actions. It promotes harmony and positive energy in the universe. Spiritual advancement. Engaging in pure karma is believed to lead to spiritual growth and advancement. It purifies the mind and soul, helping individuals progress on their spiritual journey and potentially attaining enlightenment or liberation. Wow, that's huge. Speaking about pure karma, we should now move our attention to the Sister Gita effect, somebody who lived a life of pure karma. Let's take a moment.
In order to create a reward of spiritual and physical health for a very long time, especially remember two things. Firstly, create every thought and perform every act whilst considering yourself to be a special soul. Secondly, constantly see the specialities in each and every soul. Constantly feel that each soul is a special soul. Together with this, have the good wishes and pure feelings. Send these good wishes and pure feelings to them, those special souls. Constantly pay attention to one thing. Never allow yourself to imbibe any defects or weaknesses that other souls are making effort to renounce. It is not a sign of godly royalty to pick up something someone has thrown away. It is not a sign of royalty at all. Even something beautiful that someone has thrown away would not be picked up by a royal person. That is a defect. Therefore, to imbibe the weaknesses that others are trying to let go of becomes a flaw in our own system. Keep your eyes closed to seeing the defects or weaknesses of others. Never imbibe them. And most importantly, promise never to speak about them. So never imbibe them nor speak of them, as when we speak of them, we get the virus as well of that defect. So the topic on this is spiritual royalty is to see each one's speciality and praise it, and not to see their defects. Thank you. Have a day of good wishes and pure feeling.
I think it's safe to say that we can feel so blessed tuning into Next Normal and being able to hear these words of wisdom from Sister Gita. I have to tell you, I just thank science for their work, even though I love the power of silence. Thanks for joining us on the Next Normal, everyone. Please take care of yourselves and take care of each other. And I've shared with you what I'm working on to increase my love. I'm practicing to love everybody the same so my attachment can get out of the way. Have a beautiful day today. Please believe in your goodness. I don't care what anyone said to you or did. You're good. You're good at the core. Let God serve you in that place. Take God's light in from that place. Lots of love. Om Shanti. See you soon.